Arman Tsarukyan confirms UFC title fight against Islam Makhachev will happen in early 2025 after injury postponed clash. Earlier this week, Javier Mendez, the coach of Islam Makhachev, spoke with Ushataika about Makhachev's return timeline. Unfortunately, Islam is still dealing with complications from a ligament tear he sustained during his fight with Dustin Poirier. Mendez confirmed that the injury is delaying Makhachev's comeback, and fans shouldn't expect to see him back in the octagon before the end of the year. This injury setback means the lightweight king will need additional time to recover fully, pushing any potential title defenses or big fights into 2025. Makhachev's absence will leave a gap at the top of the lightweight division, further building anticipation for his eventual return. Given that Makhachev is out of action for at least the next 4 months, there had been speculation that the UFC could opt to book an interim title fight with Tsarukyan against one of the 5 men below him in the rankings. Arman said any of the top 5 could fight for the interim title. Hooker, Chandler, Oliveira, Gaethje, or Poirier. All of them can fight for an interim title, although they don't deserve it. 4 of them are coming from a loss. Only Hooker had a win, and Chandler, I think, although Chandler's had his last victory over Tony Ferguson. Explaining why he'd be willing to take such an enormous risk when an undisputed title shot has already been secured, Tsarukyan simply acknowledged that the end justifies the means. Becoming an interim champion, taking the belt, having a fight and making money, getting more fight experience, getting one step closer to the title fight, fighting a 5-round fight. I'm 27, the more I fight, the more experience I get. It's no secret that Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley aren't exactly on each other's Christmas card lists. These two have been going back and forth for years, constantly taking shots at each other's fighting skills. Whether it's Cejudo trolling O'Malley's abilities on the ground, or O'Malley dismissing Cejudo's comebacks, it's clear there's no love lost between them, and from the way things are shaping up, the beef is far from over. On a recent episode of the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, UFC bantamweight champ Sean O'Malley trolled the hosts by leaving in just 30 seconds. In his brief time, he appreciated Usman, asked Cejudo how he let Aljo take him down so easily, and left.
Boys, you guys know I'm a very, very busy man. I'll keep this short. I came here for 2 reasons. 1, praise you, Kamaru, you're an absolute legend. And 2, Henry, how'd you let Aljo take you down so easy? You're welcome!
As the bantamweight champ left the podcast, Cejudo took his trash talk up a notch by leaking some insider information from O'Malley's training camp. He doesn't know how to get off of bottom, he's having trouble. I've had training partners. I have 3 training partners that gone out there that's all told me the same shit. Just like when I'm injured, he always knows. He's tweeted out like, hey, when I lost to Merab Dvalishvili, he knew that I was injured. You know, that's what happens when you live in the same city. People know other people that will say, who did? This potential training issue, combined with their long history of trolling each other, explains why Henry is so confident about Merab walking out as the new UFC bantamweight champion at UFC 306. Henry said, it's a match made in heaven for a guy like Merab. He just needs to be here. He just needs to be careful in those 2 rounds. And as the fight goes on, I can see Merab Dvalishvili taking him out. Am I a snitch? Am I a snitch, Kamaru? Henry Cejudo didn't just spill secrets about O'Malley's training camp. He also hinted at a potential showdown between the two if O'Malley were to lose to the machine Dvalishvili. Although Triple C has plans to drop down to flyweight, he mentioned that those plans could change depending on the outcome of the Noche UFC main event. If O'Malley stumbles, Cejudo sees it as an opportunity to finally force Suga into the octagon with him. This adds another layer of intrigue, as fans speculate whether Henry will put his flyweight move on hold to settle the score. O'Malley were to lose to the machine Dvalishvili. Although Triple C has plans to drop down to flyweight, he mentioned that those plans could change depending on the outcome of the Noche UFC main event. If O'Malley stumbles, Cejudo sees it as an opportunity to finally force Suga into the octagon with him. This adds another layer of intrigue, as fans speculate whether Henry will put his flyweight move on hold to settle the score. Sean O'Malley thinks Aljamain Sterling will root for O'Malley to beat Merab. During a recent interview with TMZ Sports, O'Malley looked ahead to his 2nd defense of the bantamweight title, which has seen his eyes remain on a member of the Serra Longo fight team. Talk of Sterling providing Dvalishvili with valuable insight into sharing the cage with Sugar has been a prominent topic in the lead up to the September 14th event. event. However, given the manner of his defeat in Boston last year, O'Malley wouldn't be surprised if Funk Master is secretly rooting for the Georgian's failure in order to make his efforts against Sugar look better. I mean, I don't know what Aljo's gonna tell Merab. Like, damn, he's fast, he's sharp, he's accurate, he's hard to take down. Good luck. Like, there wasn't a lot of success Aljo had in that fight, O'Malley said. If anything, Aljo probably shouldn't tell him anything because it's probably just gonna make him a little bit nervous. Who knows? Aljo probably hopes I beat Merab. It makes Aljo look better, O'Malley continued. I'm just curious if Merab was happy that I knocked out Aljo. If I didn't knock out Aljo, Merab still would be waiting around. So I have a little theory that maybe they're not as good buddies as we all thought. Sterling is expected to be alongside the likes of Ray Longo with Team Dvalishvili this weekend, hoping to get a cage-side view of his friend and training partner's long-awaited crowning moment on MMA's biggest stage. And when it comes to the venue for his first attempt at securing that, the Georgian likely couldn't have wished for a grander setting than the unique surroundings of the Sphere. UFC welterweight contender Gilbert Burns knows he's reached a point of uncertainty after falling to a 3-fight losing skid. Burns, a former title challenger on MMA's biggest stage, suffered his latest defeat inside the octagon this past weekend against Sean Brady while headlining Saturday's UFC Fight Night event. Burns said, "I'm a little bit disappointed. I know I have the grit, I know I can fight hard, but I didn't let go." Burns said, "I felt great this whole freaking week. I felt good in training camp. This morning was great, but when I got to the octagon, it didn't flow. It just didn't flow. Nothing was good. I didn't let it go. Props to Sean. Sean is a tough one. I hit him with some good shots. I tried to finish. I think I forced the finish too much." Burns continued, "I don't know what's next. I've got to rethink. I've got to go back, talk to my coaches, see what's next. At the same time, give a little time to my family. They give up so much when I'm in a camp for a fight. I'm gonna go back, spend time with the family, go back to train. I don't have any injuries, thank God. I lost, but at least the body is feeling good." At 38 and on a 3-fight losing streak, Gilbert Burns faces an uphill battle to re-enter the title conversation. Once on the verge of championship glory after knocking down Kamaru Usman at UFC 258, Burns now finds himself struggling to regain that momentum. His recent setbacks raise questions about whether he can claw his way back into contention in the highly competitive welterweight division. On the other hand, Sean Brady is surging forward with his eyes firmly set on the top of the division. After a significant win that likely brings him within reach of the welterweight top 5, Brady is targeting high-profile opponents like Ian Gary or Colby Covington. With youth and momentum on his side, the Philadelphian is positioning himself as a serious threat to the division's elite.